Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Mega Man 10, grabbing the World Warrior achievement. This is to defeat at least one of every single type of enemy. This is best done on easy mode. You can use either character for this. We will be using Mega Man just for the sake of simplicity, and we will be starting on Pup Man stage and then working our way around the boss rotation. So start it up. Once you start, drop to the right. There is going to be a Noomtail here. These guys are a little frustrating to kill simply because if you're shooting, they won't pop up, so you kind of have to wait till they pop up and then shoot them. Drop down to the right again and you can kill the spider right here. Then drop down to the left. You have another spider in case you missed the last one for whatever reason. Moving towards the right, you have a bunch of the pipe enemies who are going to come flying in, so make sure you take them out from a distance. When you get to the path, you want to take the upper path, simply because there are less shrimp guys in this direction who are going to give you a little trouble in the underwater part. Drop down here, you will fight one shrimp guy in this fork of the level, so make sure you take him out, and then proceed on. This is when you drop down here, you have the eyeball dude. Make sure you shoot him from this tank of water before jumping over, and then that should be the last regular enemy. All you have to do is just take out Pump Man. He's actually very easy since he is weak against the Mega Buster, so just make sure you figure out his pattern and kill him. Then it's going to be on to Solar Man. So start up his stage, climb up the first set of ladders. Once you're here, you should have the multiplication enemy. Make sure you shoot him before he multiplies. Climb to the top of this ladder, you have the flower laser thing. You have to shoot it while it's open. Then right next to that is going to be the flames. This one's very missable because it comes off as an obstacle rather than an enemy, and they're also very hard to kill with the Mega Buster, so I recommend using the water shield to take them out. So just use that and they should go down in one hit. Make sure you do that before moving on, or else you will miss it. On to the stage mini-boss, you have the Firebirds. All you have to do is just dodge their flame attack and then jump over them when they charge. Very simple pattern, and they're actually a really easy boss fight to do. You just got to be a little careful with your jumps and your placements. But once you take both of them out, you can move on to the next part. Once you get to the top of the three big ladders, there's going to be this rocket launcher enemy. Make sure you kill him. And then there is going to be another one up here in case you missed it for whatever reason. So grab that, and then you just have to defeat Solar Man. Using the water shield, he should go down in a few hits. The bosses in this game are very, very weak to their elemental weaknesses, and they go down in a few seconds on easy. Then we are going to hop into Chill Man's stage. First enemy is going to be the Snowman. Make sure you kill him. I believe his head also counts as an enemy, so you might want to kill that too. So just shoot it before it explodes. Then, moving on, you have the shield guys, which are right here. Shoot them from the back, obviously, and then they should go down easy peasy. Then after that, we're going to drop down. Once you get to this level, you have a repeat of the eyeball guy from Pump Man stage. Make sure you kill him. There's going to be a bunch of them in the stage, so you shouldn't worry too much about not finding one. After that, we are going to climb up here. You have the Christmas tree looking guys with the spiky feet. Make sure you shoot them. These guys break the ice cubes to get you to fall. This one is very missable right here. Once you get back outside, you have the penguins who drop bombs on you. You have to use Rush in order to reach them. So use the Rush coil, hop on him, and then just try to jump and shoot. You can also use the Rush jet if you want to. However, it's a little hard steering and shooting. But make sure you get one of these guys because they only appear in this part of the game. After that, just take out Iceman. He goes down using the solar flare thing, and he's honestly really easy. And with that out of the way, we can move on to Nitro Man's stage. So once you start up the stage, you have this guy. He's going to be the face cannon thing. I believe you have to shoot both the face part as well as the gun part. So once you kill one, they break apart. And I believe you have to kill the other one. So make sure you get the timing right once you kill the first part. Jump and then shoot the gun. You also have Machine Gun Joe, everyone's favorite enemy, because it requires a ton of patience in order to kill him. Or you could be like me and just shoot him and tank all of his shots. Whatever the case, once you take care of them, once you get up here, you have the Flying Meteor with the little twirly hat. Then you want to make sure you equip the Chill Spike because you have this missable enemy who is going to be the bus. You can actually kill these guys if you hit them with a Chill Spike. Then you have to wait till another one pops up and then rams it from behind, and that will count as a kill towards the achievement. Very, very important and very missable. Once you climb up here, you have the bulldozer guy. You can jump behind him and try to Mega Buster, or if you're lazy, you can use the solar flame. Then you have the truck guys, who are just like the buses, except they're taller, but same thing. Chill spike, wait for one to ram them from behind, and you will count towards the achievement. Once you drop down here, make sure you hit up the countdown bomb. I believe it counts as an enemy as it's listed as an enemy in the game, so might as well get it just as a backup. Then the actual fight with Nitro Man, he's actually really easy as well. Just use the chill spike, make sure you either hit him with it or pop it down in front of him when he's charging you with the motorcycle, and he should go down in a few hits. So there you go, and we can move on to good old Commando Man's stage. Probably the only stage on easy where you can really die if you rush through, because the sandstorms might knock you down. But you have the ladybug helicopters at the start, just jump and shoot them, and you also have the sand trap guys. Make sure you shoot them and drop down to the pit and kill them when they are in fountain mode. You want to take the upper path. Once you get to the fork, you have the regular Meteor, so don't confuse him with the flying one or the Noomtails. Once you get one of those, you can move on to this part. Jump across this gap. There should be the para bombers. You have to turn back and shoot them. They will parachute in and try to explode on you, but those guys are also very missable. Once you drop down, you have a repeat of the shield guys if you don't have them already. Then once you get past this part, you have the stomper. So make sure you try to get underneath him, and if you jump on this ledge, you can actually kill him without taking any damage. So try to get up here and try to outgun him. And then we have the Commando Man fight. Another really easy one, just use the wheel cutter and just go next to him and just spam this weapon, and he'll go down in like 8 seconds. So just get the positioning right, and you can cheese him in this really cool sweet spot. And if you get the timing down right, you can kill him easy peasy. Then we are going to hop into Blade Man's stage. You have the classic cannon. Unlike Mega Man 9, his ammo will not count towards the achievement. You can get it if you are worried, but honestly, I found that you just need to kill the regular enemies in this game. You also have the axe thing, which is also easy to kill, and you have a repeat of the spider. This is all in the first few seconds of the stage. After that, we have this thing, which is the spring. They can only be killed using the chill spike, so make sure you equip that and try to hit it. You can either try to hit him directly or pop the spikes in front of him and let him run into it. Then you have the helicopter cannon guys that hit you during the seesaw segment with the carts. Just shoot one and you should be good. Then we have the castle mini-boss. He's actually really easy. Just jump up, shoot the eyes, and then try to shoot the other eyes. You can use the commando bomb if you don't want to wait for the platforms, or if you're playing as base, you can just machine gun fire them to death and kill this thing in like 2 seconds. But once you get the white flag, you can move on after the explosion. Boss fight against Blade Man. He's actually pretty hard if you don't know how to fight him. The trick with the commando bomb is to shoot next to him, and you want to hit the surface that he's on, and that way it does way more damage than hitting him directly with the bomb, and that's pretty good practice that you want to get for the rest of the game. But once you take him out, we can move on to Strike Man's stage. First up is going to be the baseball robot. Pretty simple, just stand back and shoot him. Watch for the arc of the baseball. Then you got a repeat of the spring guy again. Remember, he can only be killed using the chill spike, so make sure you use that. Then we have the ball pit cart. Make sure you kill that thing. There's actually a variant of him that carries bombs, which is a different enemy, and I'll point that out later on in the stage, but make sure you kill the regular one right there. You have the little surprise door locker enemies. Make sure you kill them. It's hard to get the angle on this staircase, but just keep jumping and shooting, and eventually you should hit at least one, and then you can move on. Honestly, not too hard of an obstacle. Your first mini-boss, who you actually have to fight twice during the game. Pretty unmissable, but jump on the fist, back up and shoot. Don't stand too close to the face, or else you will take an inadvertent hit and then fall off, but eventually once you get the pattern down, you can kill him. Once you get here, you should have the variant of the ball pit, so the regular one's right there, but if you keep going instead of jumping on the basketball hoops, you will find it right here. It carries bombs instead of balls, and then after that, you just have the boss fight against Nitro Man, who is the easiest boss in the game if you have the triple blade. Stand next to him, and you should be able to shred his health down in like 2 seconds. Then we are going to start the final stage, which is Sheep Man's stage. You have the mouse pointer, very simple enemy, just shoot him. He just puts up barriers and they fly towards you. Pretty simple stuff. You have the totem pole looking thing. You have to shoot it quickly before it respawns. Basically, you gotta shoot its face before the body parts. Then drop down, you have the brain thing, which is gonna float down in a zigzag pattern, and it can latch itself onto various bases. Then you have the shield dude again, another repeat. Then after that, you are going to drop down here. You have the mini boss who has a minion enemy. Make sure you kill the minion, another missable one if you get a little too overzealous in the boss fight. It's these jellyfish light bulb things. So make sure you kill one and then proceed to shoot the boss. You literally just need to climb up the platforms and you can dust him. And honestly, it's a very, very, very easy mini boss. You can get it done in like one cycle and then drop down. A repeat of the brain thing, however, each one of its bases will count as a different enemy. So this one is the flying one with the shield. Make sure you shoot it from the back and make sure you get it before it goes off screen. Then once you see it again after the disappearing block bit, you will have the rocket base. Same thing, drop behind it, but this one can't turn around and can't fly away, so just pepper it with machine gun and then he should go down. And finally you have the sheep man boss fight, who is very easily defeated using the rebound striker. So just use that and it will go down in a couple seconds. And then it's on to the wily stages. So as with most Mega Man games, most of the wily enemies are just going to be repeats, save for the occasional one as well as the mini bosses. First mini boss is going to be the wily archives. They're going to pop up pictures of the old Mega Man bosses. For example, if you get Elect Man here, you want to use the wheel cutter. Then you want to use the triple blade against Woodman, and Gemini Man is also going to be weak against the wheel cutter. So it's all about knowing what the bosses are, but they're always going to be a set pattern of 3, and the 3 never change. You just got to remember which weapons to use. Then we are going to drop down and fight the second set of 3. This one's also fairly simple. If you get Ringman, who looks like this, his weakness is going to be the solar flare, so make sure you use that. If you get this guy, who is Napalm Man, he's weak against the rebound striker, although he has a ton of health, so be a little careful with him and don't waste too much of your rebound striker in one shot. And finally, if you get Flame Man, he is going to be weak against the water shield, so make sure you use that and then get through the next part of the stage. Once again, no original enemies. Get to the last wily archive fight, and this time you have Slash Man, who's going to be weak against the Chill Spike. You have Tornado Man, who's weak against the Thunder Wool, but honestly, if you don't use the Thunder Wool, I wouldn't blame you because that thing is worthless. I'd rather use the Mega Buster, in all honesty. And finally, you have Chill Man, who's going to be weak against the Commando Bomb. So same principles apply with the Chill Spike and the Commando Bomb that you want to carry out throughout this game. If you miss with the Chill Spike and the spikes are still on the ground, make sure you quickly hit the weapon screen again to get them to disappear, because you can only shoot one out at a time, and having your character vulnerable is never good. And the Commando Bomb does more damage if you hit the surface next to the enemy rather than hitting him directly with the actual missile. So those are some tips which will help you out with using those weapons. But on to the next wily stage, which is wily stage 2. Drop down, you have the conveyor belt bits, and then what you want to do is you want to make your way here, and you actually have a new enemy, which is going to be the searchlight enemy. So equip the triple blade before you go too far, and one should pop up on the lower level. Make sure you hit him once with the triple blade, and you should be good. Then on to the boss fight, which is the crab puncher. He's going to be weak against the commando bomb. Same thing, you have to make sure you hit the surface. His attack areas are going to be the claws and his eyes, so make sure you do that. If you run out of ammo, you can always use the triple blade, but you have to jump on the platforms to get a better angle. And if worse comes to worse, you can also use the Mega Buster. Then we can move on to wily stage 3, which has no original enemies except for the boss, which is the Block Devil, the most boring boss fight in the world. You just have to wait for him to materialize. The pattern isn't very hard, and you barely get hit if you just stand in the corner, and all you have to do is just wait until the eyeball part appears. It's honestly one of the worst Mega Man fights because it's so boring, but it's easy at least. But his weakness is going to be the rebound striker. You will more likely than not waste ammo trying to shoot him. If worse comes to worse, use the triple blade, and honestly your Mega Buster isn't too bad either, but rebound striker will definitely take care of him in a few seconds. Run out of ammo, triple blade, and the win. After that, you have wily stage 4, which just has the boss rush as well as the first 2 wily fights. The first one, you want to use the solar blaze, just jump up on the missiles and then shoot him in the face of the ship. And then finally, when you get to the second form, his weakness is going to be the water shield. So make sure you stock up on ammo for those in case you don't have them already. So you just kind of want to put up the water shield, and then you have to wait for the ship to come down and just chain the water shield molecules into his face. If you're playing with base, this boss fight is super easy because all you have to do is just stand underneath the cockpit and just machine gun fire him to death, and he'll go down in like 5 seconds. So whatever the case, you can also use the commando bomb if you can get the angle right on the shot, but once he goes down, you could start Wily Stage 5, who has just one enemy type, and you actually just have to kill this one to get the achievement, given that you have the rest of them. So there it is, 5 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.